everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel today. We're back on GT Sport and we're back with a daily race within sport mode. It's just a quick sprint race for today's video. I had a very quick 20-30 minutes to get a quick qualifying lap in. We managed an okay-ish lap. It's on the screen at the moment. Wasn't really perfect, so it wasn't as fast as the guide I did, although I think we can actually beat that lap we did on the guide now, because the lap had a few errors in and we still managed the 2 minutes 11.7, which is not by means a fast lap, but it's not a bad lap. It put us in a reasonable qualifying position, but after 20 minutes I didn't really expect to get that time. I was reasonably happy with that, so hopefully next time it's at this track we can try and push it into the 2 minutes 10s. I think it'll be possible. We've just got to really nail some of these corners. I've got used to what to do. One little pointer I will give is I decided to go with the other way of the brake bias for qualifying. It really did help me out and in the race, especially on the downhill section where you're braking on a downhill. It's one thing with GT Sport I've started to learn, is that when you're braking in a downhill, once the car's pitching downhill, obviously like you will do at Bathurst at the last after you go up and you go down, the car tends to react better with it on brake bias more towards the front. It just stabilizes the car, stops the back end flicking out, which is common sense really. When you're going downhill, if you're braking the rear balance, the rear is going to step out more, so you need to put it towards the front. So that's one thing I've done at Bathurst, and also even for the start through the lap, I just found the car seems a little bit more settled with it on -2 I had for this lap. And I think we'll be able to push it a lot faster than what we did on our previous guide. Anyway, getting back to this video, it's just a quick 3-lap race. I literally had 20-30 minutes to do the qualifying lap, and then we were straight onto the race. First race of the day, I just wanted to get it done. You can see there some reasonably fast people in the lobby. There's a guy slightly faster than us. We qualified second with that lap, which was fairly good for a top split race considering it only took me about 20-30 minutes. And it was just a case of seeing if we could keep our position basically, or get a top 5 position, because I didn't want to lose any driver rating, so I need to make sure I finished in that top 5. I expected a lot of these guys to have maybe raced this race already today, and we're probably a little bit more consistent than what we was going to be. So maybe you'll see in the video I didn't really have the best consistency, but I only had to really keep it on the track for three laps, so we should be okay. And you can see now we're about to start the race, starting behind the Megane there. The Megane used to be really fast in the straight line. I don't think it's as fast as it used to be, although I think it's still a little bit faster than the M4. So I don't know if they've changed the start position on this track also, because I'm sure it started on the straight, but either way we managed to get an okay start. Got through the first corner reasonably clean, didn't get a brilliant exit on the corner, but did okay. Guy behind us has got our slipstream. We've got a little bit of slipstream, but we're not gaining as much as the guy behind us. You can see there, that's the difference between the M4 and the Megane. You can see the Megane's only losing a minimal amount on the slipstream, whereas the guy behind us is really closing in on us. Going into this corner now, just trying to keep it nice and steady. Didn't want to make any risk, didn't want to get on the power on that curb as well. Really, I was literally holding myself really tight when I went over that curb, as you can really lose the car through there. Going into this corner again, taking it nice and easy, not trying to push too hard. Staying with the Megane obviously at the start, like here, we're both probably not pushing too hard, but I get the feeling the guy in front had obviously done a few more races than what I had done. This was just straight on for myself, and like I said, I didn't really expect to beat the guy in the lead. I just wanted to keep it nice and clean and just get a fairly good result. So you can see there, these corners really are tricky corners. That corner you can really take flat, if you can do the whole set of corners flat out nearly, if you just get it right. This corner as well, this is where I was talking about with the brake bias. It really does help to be -2 through these corners, because you're braking and going downhill. You do not want rear bias for these type of corners, and also for this left-hander, this tight left-hander. You need to get the car, a mistake I was making, I wasn't getting the car further enough over to the right there and cutting the angle in a bit. It was losing me a bit of speed down the street. You can see the guy behind me now, he obviously did it a bit better, and because he's done it a bit better, he's then in the slipstream and he's gaining even more time. I'm losing time to the leader, so I've lost the slipstream, and the guy behind me's got a real big slipstream. So we're going to go defensive. We're going to get our car over to the right hand side. You can go to the left hand side, but I chose to go to the right hand side because he wasn't really close enough that he was going to get past me. It means then I've got the advantage going into this corner. Even though he's got the inside line, I just need to brake late, get myself onto the right hand side of the track, and then I've got the inside for the end part of the chicane. Now I've just got to go defensive on the left hand side, make sure he can't make a move into this left hander, and as you can see there, we just brake a little bit earlier, take a tight line, and we've got that position covered. So coming out the corner, we managed to get a reasonably good exit considering the line we took. The guy behind's gaining a little bit, but he's not gaining enough to really make a move. So going into braking zone, braking in between that 150 on the pound nice and early. We nearly put a bit too much power down, but we got a reasonably good exit from that corner. Not the best. The guy in the lead did a better exit, but the guy behind me did a worse exit. So we managed to just keep the gap between second from ourselves in second to the guy in third, just around about over half a second. Now going into these real tricky corners up here now. This is where you really do need to concentrate from this point in the track to the back straight. It's just such a tricky and risky section of the track. You can't be too brave, although if you start backing off too much you lose the rhythm. It's one of them tracks where you really got to keep in the frame of mind. You can see there, coming out that tight corner, we had a massive oversteer moment and the guy behind got really close, but we just about managed to keep our position. And again, this section is not really somewhere where you can make an overtaking move, and I knew that, so I just tried to keep it on the track, keep some speed through these corners. Got very close to that wall again there, going through this really fast left-hander, staying in 6th gear, did it reasonably well, managed to keep the guy behind us, and then going downhill again into this really tricky section. You can see the back end nearly went, we managed to save it, down into 2nd gear, then into 3rd gear just to try and stable the car, and then hard on the accelerator out there, and you can see we've gained a little bit of time again through that section. That section I'm fairly comfortable on. It's just this final corner I was losing speed on, although we didn't lose as much speed this lap as we did on the first lap. You can see he's still gaining, but some of the time that he's gaining is probably just going to be slipstream. So we're around 7/10 ahead now. So we actually did that reasonably well, that corner that time. And you can see the leader has got some sort of penalty of some sort. We'll have a look at that at the end of the race, and he's just gifted me the lead there, a nice little gift, so puts me into 1st position. And the good thing is he's managed to, I thought he might have got into 2nd position, but he didn't keep that 2nd position. So the guy in 2nd position has now got someone behind him who's very fast. So this was just playing into my hands now. So 1 lap to go, just got to keep it clean, get over the line and do this final lap nice and clean. So starting to get into the rhythm of the track a little bit now, although I didn't need to push too hard. Obviously I could see there was a gap to the guy behind, and I knew that I just needed to keep it controlled, and the win should be ours. So going up the long straight, we did it reasonably okay coming out of that corner, managed to start maybe pulling a little bit I think there, maybe he's starting to get in the slipstream of it again, but going through the first sector split, we go through the first sector split on a fastest sector of the race from anyone, and the guy behind tries to make a move. You can see there he's on the inside line, guy on the outside, the M4's on the outside line, holds it round the outside. You can just see it in the top right hand corner. He manages to keep that position while we keep in the 1st position, and then they're going side by side into this real tricky section. I would not want to be going side by side there. I think the 3rd place guy actually backed out of that sensibly and decided not to fight that position. As you can see, it helped us out a bit there, gained us a little bit more time there to pull away from them guys. So we're still in the lead, and you can see that we're driving fairly comfortably now, not pushing too hard, just driving within ourselves. You can see not really pushing it too hard through that corner, down into 5th gear there. Sometimes I can do that flat in 6th, but I didn't want to risk anything. Going through this tricky section, down into 5th gear, then 4th gear, down into 3rd gear, trying to keep it nice and tight on that section, staying in 3rd gear. Nice and smoothly done. You can see we did that. We actually pushed a little bit too hard on the exit there, skimming the wall, but we got away with that. Then down into 2nd gear for this final corner, again taking it nice and smooth, got the power reasonably well there. You can see not perfect, but the guy behind us again not gaining massively, because we did that a lot better than what we have done. We're actually pulling away from the guy behind there, so maybe he's made a mistake. He's actually having to go defensive. If you look in the mirror there, he's going defensive in that top right hand camera. He's going defensive because the guy's got a slipstream in the McGann, and they're going fairly side by side, but I think the M4's actually got the line into the corner like we did before, and we're just going through the final corners now, keeping it nice and clean, trying not to make any errors. And I think we were gifted that win, as I think the guy in 3rd place had the speed, but I think he must have got some sort of slowdown. We'll go back and have a look at what that could be and how he actually got that in a second. So let's just finish the race. We go over the line, with the fastest lap of the race, I think it is. Let's just see here, 2 minutes 12.6. Could have got that faster, but obviously I wasn't pushing because it was a final lap, but it still gave us the fastest lap of the race, so I was fairly happy with that. So the win was ours. Let's have a little look at what happened to this guy. So I think this is what's happened. He nearly lost it there, got very close to losing it. Going through this section, I think it's this bit now. I think he's cut this corner up here, there. I think it was there. We'll go back and slow that down. So Let's just go back and see in a minute. Let's just double check he doesn't hit any walls. I don't think he hits any of the walls further up here now. So going through the final corner, it's all clean. So it must have been there where he's got the penalty. So let's go back and have a little look whether that could be the reason he got the slow down. So let's just skip it back. Right, so having a little look, I have a feeling it will be this corner because look how much of the track he takes off. So we're going to slow it down. We're going to keep pausing it. Going into this corner, he gets really tight on the left-hand wall here. Now you'll see. So look how close he is. I don't know if does he actually hit that wall. He's really took a lot of the track off there, and I think that has given him a penalty because I have actually had a qualifying lap ruined because of that same thing. So that's where he's probably lost the time. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you have. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any videos. Thanks again for watching.